This is the One Girl Revolution podcast, a podcast that highlights the stories of world-changing women and girls across the country. We hope that these stories inspire you, but even more so, we hope that these stories help you to see your own value, your purpose, and your power to change the world through your life. Every woman and girl is a One Girl Revolution. Before we get into this week's episode, I want to share something from my heart, because this conversation and this family have deeply moved me. If you've been following along on social media, you may have seen the story of a little girl named Lilah, a tiny warrior with the brightest smile and the fiercest spirit, who has become a beacon of light to so many. Maybe you followed her on social media, or maybe you stumbled upon her story when Taylor Swift donated $100,000 to her GoFundMe. But behind the headlines, behind the viral clips and the posts, is a real family, a mother and a father, two little babies, and the fight of their lives. Today, I am so honored, truly honored, to share a conversation with Lilah's mama, Katelynn Smoot. Cancer is devastating in every way. I lived it with my own mom, and even then, as an adult, watching a parent suffer, it almost broke me. But imagining what Katelynn is living, imagining being a young mama with two little ones who need you constantly, and then suddenly facing your child's cancer diagnosis, the weight of that is something most of us can barely comprehend. And yet Katelynn wakes up every day and does it. She and her husband have both been off work, pouring everything, their time, their energy, their love, sleep, resources, their whole lives into caring for Lilah. And still, with everything they're carrying, they remain hopeful. They keep showing up. They keep loving fiercely. They keep believing in miracles. And in the quiet moments, the ones we don't see, they keep fighting. People don't talk enough about the cost of cancer, the financial costs, the emotional costs, the physical cost, the way it drains a family, the way it changes everything, your schedule, your home, your relationships, your work, your energy, your dreams. It's a marathon you never signed up to run, and you run it anyway because you love someone more than you love anything in the world. Katelynn and her family are living that right now, and they are beacons of light, and they are such an example to each and every one of us. And what humbles me most is that they aren't just trying to survive this. This is what's mind-blowing to me about Katelynn and her family. They aren't just trying to survive this. They're trying to serve through it. In the middle of caring for Lilah, in the middle of hospital stays and sleepless nights and all of the unknowns, they are raising awareness. They are sharing their stories so they can help other families. And right now, they are raising money to help other families walking through their own cancer battles this Christmas. That kind of love, that kind of selflessness, that kind of generosity, that is what we need to see in the world. And that is why I'm so honored and so grateful for Katelynn being on the podcast. I'm so honored and grateful and excited to share this episode with you. I hope that you take as much from this conversation as I have. It's truly life-changing, and I can't wait to share Katelynn's story with you and Lilah's story and their entire family. So before you listen to this conversation, I want to invite you, not just as the host of this podcast, but as a woman who believes in the power of community, and as someone who knows we are all capable of doing something and changing the world through our lives, please consider supporting this family, but also consider supporting this family bless other people. Follow their journey on Instagram at Stand With Lilah. I will put their Instagram in our show notes so you can easily follow along, donate to their GoFundMe, and if you can, help them bless other families this Christmas. You can find Katelynn's Venmo right on her Instagram page. So again, I will post their Instagram. You can follow, and she keeps posting it so you can easily find the information there and donate. No amount is too small. Truly, whatever you give becomes a part of their miracle. Families like Katelyn's shouldn't have to fight alone, and we can all do something today. We also all know people right now. I know that you know people that are going through a cancer journey of their own. We all know families that are going through it. So we can all do something, find ways to bless families in your own community, families within your own family who are going through cancer diagnoses. We can do this online, but also we can do it in our own communities, in our own lives. So I want to challenge you to look for those people and find ways to bless those families. And today, as you hear Katelyn's voice and her story, I hope you feel as deeply moved as I did, and I hope you take action. It is my great honor to introduce you to a mother of extraordinary courage, strength, and grace, Katelynn Smoot. Here's my conversation with Katelynn. Katelynn, welcome to the One Girl Revolution podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I am so excited to have you on. You and your family are just such beacons of light. And I started following, I don't actually even remember when I started following your story, but the little videos with Lilah would like pop up on my Instagram or pop up on my TikTok. And so I've been following you guys for months. I know that in the past couple of weeks, you've gotten a lot of media coverage, but I think that there are so many people that have been following you guys for a while. And like I said before we started recording, I'm so grateful for your vulnerability, but also like just your openness to share your story, because I know that you are such a beacon of light to so many people. And Lilah, she's like suffering so much, this sweet little beacon of light. And she's just like, I know she has her hard days, but like I see her little videos and I'm like, how do we in this world get to be blessed by this little beacon of light? She's amazing.
Yeah, she is just something else. We just like love sharing our story and like helping people feel less alone in this, really isolating time. But I can't help but share her little personality because she has so much light to her. And even though she went through something so t difficult, something that I don't think I could ever do, she just been smiling and dancing through it. So I just can't help but share her because she's just so lovable.
Well, I want to talk more about Lilah. I want to talk
Yeah.
more about your journey. But what we always do on this podcast is I like to rewind because we're always growing and evolving, and life is full of many chapters. So I would love to rewind and just hear a little bit about you, Katelynn, who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about your story before you became a mama.
Yeah, it's crazy. My life has just been all over the place. I don't really have a hometown. I've lived everywhere. I was born in Ohio. I've lived in Las Vegas. I've lived in Minnesota. I've lived in Orlando. I've lived in Arizona, and now we're here in North Carolina. But I say that I'm from Arizona. That's where I spent most of my childhood. That's where I graduated high school. That's where my family's at right now, and that's where I met my husband. I was, on Tinder one day, not really looking for anything serious, just looking for, going on one date after I had gotten out of a long-term relationship. I was like, let me just like date and have fun and like that's it. And the first person that I matched with and decided to go on a date with ended up being my husband. And from there, we have been inseparable since. We met in June of 2021, and we just started traveling together. We moved in together very quickly. Our lives, everyone thought it was very quick, but we felt like it was at the right pace. Like when you meet the one that you're supposed to be with, like you just know. And we got engaged in September of 2022. And then we were pregnant with Lilah. We found out that December, like that was our family's Christmas gift, was surprise, we're pregnant. We quickly got married. We were originally going to get married in October of the following year, but once we found out Lilah was coming, I was like, well, let's just have a wedding now. I want to have that out of the way before she gets here. So we got married in May of 2023, and we did like a fun elopement with just like our parents and our siblings. And then in August of 2023, Lilah came. So it's just been like nonstop since my husband and I met. We've just been traveling and like experiencing life together. And once Lilah was born, I felt like this is exactly what I was meant to do. I just had that calling to be her mom. I don't know. You, life before kids, it's hard to imagine. Sometimes like maybe I'm not gonna be a mom, and then you have your baby and you're like, oh my gosh, this is everything. This is what I want to do. Like this is my whole entire world is to protect her. And so that's been that was the start of it. Now,
Yeah. so much life. You guys
Yeah.
have experienced so much life together, but I love that too because a lot of times we think, oh, everything has to be perfect, right? You want to have the perfect wedding and the perfect relationship
Yeah.
and the babies come at the perfect time. And it's
Yeah.
the reality is, and most people can attest to this, there's never a perfect time. So you just got to
No.
do it. And, what a blessing your relationship and your family have been to the world. Now so many people are learning about you all, and we'll get into that. But so Lila's born, and at first I know that everything seemed perfect, everything seemed fine. And then she ended up getting diagnosed with cancer right before your second baby was born, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you talk about that experience? Like, what were
Yeah.
the warning signs or the things that kind of like started popping up that you were like, something's not right?
Yeah. So Lila was born a perfectly healthy baby. She was born 7 days early, so just right on time. And nothing ever was wrong. I mean, I had normal mom anxiety, like new mom anxiety. I was scared to put her down. Every night I'm checking, is she still breathing? But she never had anything wrong about her. She had all of her milestones at the right time. She actually hit a couple of them early. We're like our overachiever girl. And I found out I was pregnant with our son when she was 9 months old. And we're like, oh my God, we got so excited to expand our family even more. And throughout my pregnancy, Lila was just growing, and nothing ever seemed out of the ordinary. It really was picture perfect. I remember looking at my husband about a month before our son was born, and I said, we have the perfect life. We have, a beautiful baby girl. We have one on the way. We were living in our own apartment. My husband had just gotten a really good job, and I was picking up on my photography. I started scheduling weddings for the year, and like everything literally as perfect as it could be. I went into labor with my son on February 24th of 2025, and I was about 8 centimeters dilated about 2 hours before he actually arrived. And a doctor walked into our room and said, I'm so sorry to tell you, but Lila has had a seizure and she's in the ER, and we found a mass in her brain. So there was no warning signs. There was one day she was fine and the next day she wasn't. They let her come up to my room. I got to see her before they transferred her to a nearby children's hospital. And as soon as I saw her, all like everything was fine. She was fine. She was running around the room, playing with the nurses, not wanting me to hold her. She's like, no, mom, like, let me explore. And I knew she would be okay. And I had my son, and everything was fine with him. I remember being in the postpartum room and my husband and I just crying, like, what is going on with her daughter? We just had the best day, but also the worst day of our lives. And we never thought that it would happen to us, to our family. You see childhood cancer all the time, but you never think it's your family. You quickly scroll past those videos because you're like, I don't need that sadness. That's not going to be my life. And then it is.
Yeah, and your experience too, for so many people, it's not this like little by little, like, oh, these things started happening. It's a cancer diagnosis comes and it hits you like a ton of bricks. And then it's like, okay, how do we even do this? Right here, you are this young family with these young kids, a newborn baby. And it's like, all right, where do we go from here? What are we going to do? And, the financial burden, all the other things that happen for people, we don't realize like the gravity unless you've been through it, right?
Yeah.
And so I know that you're experiencing that now. And I know you're like connecting with so many people on social media, and social media has become such a great tool. I know that a lot of people bag on it sometimes, but it really has become such a great connecting tool
Yeah.
for people not to feel so alone. The world tells women and girls that they don't matter, that one woman, one girl can't be a revolution. But that's not true. Every woman and every girl is a one girl revolution. Join the Every Woman, Every Girl campaign today by posting a video or graphic on social media telling us why you are a one girl revolution. Tag us, collab with us on Instagram, and shout out a woman or girl who inspires you. Tell us who is a one girl revolution in your life. Together, we are lifting voices, telling stories, and reminding every woman and girl who she really is. Follow along, share your story, and be a part of the movement. Because when every woman and every girl rises, the whole world changes. Join us today at onegirlrevolution.com. That's the number one, girlrevolution.com. But for you guys, so you find out that she has this tumor. Talk about the cancer diagnosis, what she got, and like kind of where you've gone from there. I know she's been through multiple
Yeah.
surgeries and chemotherapy and all different types of
Yeah.
things. Talk about your cancer journey with Lilah.
Yeah, so after they told us she had a mass in her brain, she got transferred to a children's hospital where an MRI showed that it looked like a very dense tumor, but thankfully it was not causing any problems like in her brain. Other than being there, it wasn't causing any swelling, it wasn't causing any pressure. They were honestly surprised she had even had a seizure. They're like, this was kind of an abnormal case. So it was not a emergency surgery. We got to wait a whole week before they did her brain surgery. They removed the whole tumor, and then a week later, the pathology came in. I remember I was folding laundry with my baby, newborn baby in my arms, and Lilah running around the house. And my husband called me and he said, "Hey, the doctor just called with the pathology of her tumor. It's called ATRT. It's a grade 4 brain tumor, and she has to start chemo right away." And in that moment, my whole world just stopped. My baby girl, like, what do you mean? So it just kind of like hit me so hard. You know, I have this newborn baby. My toddler seems so healthy. And now we have to start chemo. And they're telling us there's no other options. Like, it's either you start chemo or you watch her die. So they said we have to wait 2 weeks from brain surgery to start the chemo because her brain has to have time to heal. So she got her central line placed 2 weeks after her brain surgery, and that same day that she got the central line placed, they started her chemo. It's a very, very rigorous treatment plan. ATRT is a very aggressive cancer, so they've got to hit it with everything they've got. It's a very short treatment plan in the grand scheme of things. It took us about 8 months, but it feels like forever when you're in it. So we did 2 months of induction chemo, which is still a very high dose of like methotrexate and Christine, etoposide, uh, cisplatin, all these hard chemos. We did those for 2 months. And then after that, we did a high dose chemo, which was only two different chemos. It's carboplatin and thiotepa. So if you know anything about those, you're getting baths every 6 hours. They can leave chemical burns on your body. They're such a hard chemo. They wipe out your whole entire immune system even more. So you have to come in and get stem cells to boost your immune system back up. So Lilah got 3 stem cell transplants. They were all her own stem cells, just to help her, come back up from the high dose chemo. So we did 3 rounds of that. And then we did 6 weeks of proton radiation. So it's 28 proton cycles to her brain in her tumor bed. And so every single day, since she's only 2, she's getting sedated. She's going under anesthesia. She's getting like a breathing device put into her mouth, and they're doing the proton radiation to her brain. And so she just finished that last Wednesday. And then 2 days ago, she got her central line removed. And so now she is done with her frontline treatment. And it's been a crazy 8 months trying to manage that and a newborn. Now he's 8 months old. And yeah, they that's all they can really do for us. They can't really do any much more. It was very, very difficult. But now she rang the bell, and hopefully nothing more has to happen.
You are so strong, Katelynn, and I'm just blown away by you as a mama, and I can't even fathom, what the past 8 months have been like for you. But it's such an important, this is part of why I wanted to have you on. Like, it's such an important example to other moms. Like, women are so resilient, and you hear these stories, and so are kids, right? Here,
Yeah.
like Lilah, you see these videos of her, and you're like, how is this kid going through everything that she's been through and still smiling and doing all these things? And I know she has hard days, and I know that you have hard days, but I just want to affirm you and say you are so strong. And I'm just blown away by you. You're
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you. It's been a very difficult journey, but I always live with the motto of she's here right now. And given the odds of her cancer, it's very realistic that she won't be here in 2 years. So I'm not going to spend the time that she's here upset. Like I am upset. Obviously, I'm upset she has to go through it. I'm sad, but day to day, while she's here, I'm going to play with her. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to allow myself to be happy and hold space for that because there might be a day that she's not.
Is that the thing that's giving you strength, like on those really difficult days? Or like, what are the things? I know you guys have community. I know you have family and friends, and now you have a whole army of
Yeah.
strangers, I feel like, that have reached out to support you guys via social
Yeah.
media. But what are the things that give you strength?
A lot of praying, a lot of conversations with God, a lot of really reflecting on what is happening. Honestly, there's so many times that I've broken down, just bawling, just like, please God, like tell me why am I going through this? Why my family? Why Lilah? She's so beautiful. She like why does she have to be the one to suffer? It doesn't feel fair. Um, but that's honestly like having those conversations give me strength because I may not understand why this is happening. I'm not meant to understand why, but I can trust that there's going to be something better on the other side. And that could be very difficult, especially for cancer parents to hear, especially like the other side might be Lilah not here. And how could that be good? But I have to trust that there's something that I can't see on why it's all working out. And so like for an example, the day Lilah was born, that is what I felt called to do was I just knew that I was meant to be a mom. Well, the day that Lilah got diagnosed with cancer, as our life has played out, I'm feeling called to help other people find their strength and to be there for others. I've always wanted to help people. I've always felt that natural calling. And even though Lilah is going through this and it's really hard on her family, I feel a sense of purpose in it. I feel like it is my duty to let the world know what childhood cancer is, what ATRT is, that those parents that are going through it, you are not alone. There is somebody fighting these battles with you, even if I'm not there by your side every day. I feel you, I see you. I'm here with you. You're not going through it alone. So that's what gives me strength is knowing that I'm not going to have all the answers and that at the end of the day, there is a reason that I'm going through it, even if I go my whole life and I never know that reason. Life isn't meant to be easy. There's going to be hard moments, and no one deserves cancer any more or any less than the next person.
Yeah. Well, and childhood cancer, Katelynn, like it just hits me. And, it's like cancer is terrible, everybody going through it, but it's like seeing these little babies. And I know, you know your own Lilah and what she's experienced, but you also have encountered so many other families, right, with little kids with cancer. And it's like the strength that those kids have and the beacons of light they are. And you have to, I think the only way that you can deal with that is exactly what you're saying, that there has to be a greater purpose. And we don't know what that is, but looking at your story and looking at Lilah, I mean, I just think that Lilah is such a beacon of light and your family is such a beacon of light. And you've utilized social media in such a beautiful way, which I feel like you also just like sort of started doing it. Like, I mean, none of us really know how to, unless you're like an influencer
Yeah.
and you have like a team that teaches you. Like, I feel like I'm still doing like TikToks and like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Like, let me just put
Yeah.
this video up. How did you decide? How did you and your family, because I know that I'm sure there was a discussion with your husband figuring out how much you share, what you share. This is also Lilah's little journey too, but
Hmm.
what made you guys say, we want to share this publicly? We want to share our own
Yeah.
journey because we might be able to help other people.
Yeah, I mean, originally started with just it was the easiest way to update our friends and family. We have family all over, and it was much better to post a Facebook post than it was to text everybody that I know. And then as I started doing it more, I kind of used it as a journal, as like my daily diary, writing like I would write kind of like poem like posts or like videos on TikTok that had like a poem essence to them that would help me process like my emotions and what I'm going through. And what I'm feeling. And it really was just for me. I wasn't really expecting it to go much farther than that. As I got my little small community of followers and, parents that were consistently commenting on my things or sending me messages, and I realized that I was impacting other people, that I was helping other ones, that people that were going through this, and like they felt validated and felt seen by what I was posting. Like, yes, this is what it's like, and no one talks about it. So as we started to share more, I did ask like my husband, like, do you feel comfortable with me sharing these things about Lilah? And he's like very nonchalant. He's like, I don't care. Like he's like, as long as I'm not the one posting it, he's like, do what you want, whatever you feel comfortable with. There was some hesitancy with like, this is Lilah's personal life. Do I put this on the world for everyone to see? Like, is she going to be upset when she gets older and she looks back at this? And the reasoning I go behind that is she might not be here. And there's so many other families that are fighting this battle that she deserves to be seen while she's here. Like she can take it up with me. If she is 16 and she's mad and she wants me to delete everything, I will. But while she's here and while she's alive and while she's happy and healthy, I'm going to show her, and I'm going to show the world what it's like to live this life. For those that are going through this journey, that know that you're not alone, but for those that have never been even touched by cancer, to show you that these kids are out there. Like you see Lilah, this is not as rare as you think it is. There are kids every day going through this that you don't see. And to just bring awareness, and that we need a better funding, better research. These kids deserve more hope. There should not be kids dying from cancer.
Yeah, it's so important. And we can all do something, Katelynn, right? Like we all can do something to raise awareness. And even I always say on this podcast, the free and easy way for anyone to raise awareness, to share stories, to share GoFundMe's is like use your social media. And if you see something, you never know who's following you, right? I think
Yeah.
about that it's like, oh, I don't know anybody with whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you never know, sharing something might raise awareness for somebody else, might become a resource for someone. And so we can all do something in that way. Katelynn, I know that you've shared so much of your journey and so many little videos, and you shared that people started reaching out to you and like they were like, hey, thank you for like making me not feel so alone, or oh my gosh, like I'm so glad to know that there are other people out there like me that are fighting, right? Fighting for their family, fighting for their children. Moms, I know that you also have to become your own advocate, right? Like doctors don't know everything, and moms have to fight for their own little kids and what they think is right and what they think that their kids need. Is there a story or two of somebody that reached out to you that was impacted by your story that you might be able to share?
Yeah, another reason why I share is, especially with Lilah's diagnosis, that it's a rare diagnosis. So, like, there's less than 100 kids a year that are diagnosed with ATRT in the US. So, a lot of oncologists and a lot of doctors haven't seen this cancer personally. They don't know it firsthand. So, when I share and other families and other moms find my page, I get, bombarded with a lot of questions. And one most recently was a mom that just reached out. Her daughter is starting to go through chemo, and she was just asking me like things that we did to deal with nausea. And our oncologists and our doctors didn't really tell us anything other than Zofran. And Zofran does not work when you have chemo and like their kids are constantly puking. And so I let her know, like for Lilah, she was using Amend. And this is just something that another nurse had brought up because she had gone through brain cancer, and that was what worked for her. And that was like a lifesaver. It made Lilah feel so much better. And so I shared this with this mom, and she's like, thank you so much. Like, you have to advocate for your kids. The doctors don't give you every option of every, medication that you could possibly take. And it feels like they would. Like when I first started this journey, I thought that they would just tell me everything that I need to know, that they had like that they do know what they're doing, but they don't tell you more than what they think you need to know. So there was a lot of fighting for your child and making sure that they're getting the right care that they need to feel comfortable. Like Lila suffered from mucositis and she had to go on a morphine drip, but it took 3 days for us to get that. And it's a lot of like arguing with like, no, my baby's in pain, screaming. Like, do you think I want to medicate them? Do you think I want her on morphine? No. So just a lot of, I've had multiple moms reach out to me with their kids having ATRT, just asking me questions about the daily struggles of going on chemo. And I've just shared our story, like more personal with them about the medications that I've worked with Lila, the things to look out for, and just some like not that it's going to work for their kid, but at least they have that in their like utility belt to bring up to your doctor because they see so many kids every day. And they're doing the best that they can. So sometimes they don't think about every medication that's possibly out there. So that I've definitely had my share of, sharing that with other moms. And I don't want to get too specific on the stories because I'm not sure what they're comfortable with sharing.
Yeah.
But we've our ATRT community is very close, and we have all talked and shared stories and try to figure out what's going to work best for our kids.
Yeah, it's so important, that community element for anything that we're going through, right?
Yeah.
In life, like we all need community. And it's great when you can find other people that are like, hey, I know what that's like. All of our stories are different. All of the experiences are different, of course, but being able to share resources or like on the hard days, right? That you can just have somebody that you can reach out to and be like, hey, this just happened, and just have somebody to relate to you, I think is so
Yeah.
important for us to all find our tribe of people, our support system.
That's what I love about posting is that when you Google ATRT, there is not that much information. Like I've read every article, I've searched the internet, and I have tried to connect with other moms who've walked this road before me because all we're trying to do is find similar stories, right? We just want to know our baby's going to be okay. That's what anyone wants. So I love that in the past 8 months that I've been sharing our story, I've had handfuls of moms that have just had their kids diagnosed this year reach out and say, I'm so happy that I found you because I felt so alone before. Not that I want more kids to get ATRT. That is not, I wish that there was no moms reaching out to me, but the fact of the matter is there is going to be more kids. And if I can help those families feel less alone, then I'm going to continue to post every single day.
So I got to ask you about a viral moment on social media that you and your family had that really kind of escalated your story to the next level. Lila's special friend, her friend Taylor Swift, donated to your GoFundMe. And what I want people to be thinking about is with cancer diagnosis, like I mentioned before, it is such a strain financially. And as somebody who went through that, my own family, it's like people think like, oh, oh, you can figure it out. And it's like, no, it is such a strain. All the different things that you deal with. Okay, great. You have health insurance. That doesn't cover everything. Then you need all these little, like all kinds of stuff, right? A new bed or a new this or a new that. Then you have to take breaks from work. I'm sure you and your husband, stepping away from your photography, stepping away from all the things that you were doing. So people don't realize how expensive it is to also walk through cancer. So I wanted to say that. So you guys had this GoFundMe posted, and somewhere along the line you recorded this sweet little video. I'll let you tell it because it was such a sweet
Yeah,
video. So tell
it,
about the video and how this all kind of came to be.
it was crazy. It's still crazy. I can't believe it. But obviously, I post Lila a lot. Taylor Swift's new album had just come out, and I was scrolling through TikTok, and one of the songs had popped up, and it was playing. And Lila goes, "Oh my gosh, Mom, that's Taylor Swift! Like, I want to listen." I was surprised that she knew that that was Taylor Swift. It's a brand new song, and she's like, "That's Taylor Swift!" Yeah, so I put up the iPad. She said she wanted to watch it. I put up the Fate of Ophelia music video. She's just dancing. I'm recording because that's what I do. And she sees Taylor Swift and she goes, "That's my friend." Like, that's your friend? And she's like, "Yeah." And that video just started to go viral. We started getting like flooded with just donations in general before Taylor Swift had even donated. And then my husband called me and he was like, Taylor Swift just donated us $100,000. What? You're kidding. No, that didn't happen. He's like, no, go look. It did. He's like, I don't know if it's real. I'm like, how could someone fake a GoFundMe like donation? Like it's protected and everything. He's like, I don't know. And I looked and it said, sending the biggest hug to my friend Lila, or love your friend Taylor. And it was just like I started crying. I had to call my sister right away. I was like, you would not believe what just happened. And it's just like this whole entire burden just lifted. And I would be happy if it just stopped there. I did not expect anything more. I more expected people to roll their eyes, like really. But no, the Swifties came in and they doubled her donation within 3 days. And so now we're just like super shocked, like this is really happening to our family. And yeah, it's been crazy. My husband and I have been out of work for the past 8 months. He tried to work in the beginning of Lila's diagnosis, but with a newborn, with her being in the hospital for 20 to 30 days at a time, it just wasn't realistic. We needed both of us there. And so we have had no income other than donations. And just seeing that we've had to move 3 times in the past 8 months. So just seeing that come through was like, I can breathe. I can enjoy focusing like on Lila. I can enjoy the holidays with Lila. I can focus on just the care she needs. The day that that happened, I was like, oh, the first thought I had was like, oh, I can go grab dinner tonight and not worry about what this is going to do to our bank account. Because we were in Philadelphia at the time. It's not where we're from. It's really hard to do like grocery shopping and cooking when you're staying somewhere that's not home. So we were eating out for 3 meals every single day. And my husband and I had just sat down to talk about our finances like 2 days before this donation came through. Like, what are we going to do for work? Like, as soon as we get back home, we have to start working. Like, we can't keep living. Like, we live at his mom's house right now because we had to cancel our apartment lease as soon as Lila got diagnosed. We're like, we can't afford rent and not work and be in the hospital. So just having that donation come through was like, oh, we can like eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner now and not worry about what our bank accounts are going to look like. Oh, I can go get my annual eye exam and not worry about it. And not like I've been scheduling my dentist appointment now, my eye exam, like all the things that we've been putting off because we didn't know what our finances were going to look like or if we were going to be able to do that. So it's just like a moment of relief of okay, this thank you so much for blessing our family and for I just can't believe it still. It's just a shock.
It's so incredible, and it's just a lesson to all of us because I know that we all see those GoFundMe's or things pop up, and I wanted to ask you about that just because people don't realize, right? They're like, "Oh, well, you have health insurance," or I did see also a couple people had posted on your social media posts like, "Oh, now you have all this money in your GoFundMe. What are you guys going to do for other families?" And I immediately, Katelynn, posted on there. You have so many comments, so you probably didn't see it, but I was like, "No. Lila's not done yet. You guys have a lot on your plate. Save that. At some point when she's in the clear, if there's money left over, great, we can bless other people." But that's another thing that people will often put pressure where it's like, "Oh, you have all this money, like what are you going to do with it?" And it's like that is gone, quickly.
Yeah,
Just when you're
yeah,
paying for hotels or travel
yeah,
or all the different like facets of it.
yeah.
And so I just think that it's such a great lesson to everybody. Like we can't all give
Yeah,
$100,000,
yeah, yeah.
but we can all do something. And so it's
But
so important to give what you can.
yeah. And I mean a lot of $13 donations add up.
Yeah.
We got another like $150,000 in just $13 donations. So it does add up. And the other thing people don't realize is that if we decide to do a clinical trial with Lila, we most likely will have to pay that out of pocket. Like that's not something that insurance is going to cover, especially with cancer and Lila's cancer. There's not a lot of options for relapse. So if we want to enroll her in a clinical trial, that's something that is going to come from our own money. So like I don't know if I'm going to need that for future care because really anything can happen and we have no idea.
Yeah, there's still so much
Yeah.
uncertainty, and you guys are just such a beacon of light, and you're helping so many other people. But I hope that everybody who's listening, if they see a GoFundMe pop up or they know somebody who's going through cancer, that they step in and support. And usually it's like all those little things that can make such a big impact. I know that people are like, a lot of times, like, "Oh, let me just like buy these things or make you this dinner." And it's like, no, give us gift cards. Or we had somebody, Katelynn, when my mom was going through cancer, that paid for us to have our house cleaned. Not just like my parents, but paid for like my husband and I for our house to be cleaned. I was never home. I was like
Yeah.
constantly at the
Yeah.
hospital or doing other
Yeah.
things. And so for people to think outside of the box, okay, like can I give money is always like king, right? It's like you
Yeah.
can do
Yeah.
anything with it. But that we can all find ways to support families that we know because we whether or not we recognize it. We all know somebody right now who's going through cancer treatment. And so that we can step in and support them in any way that we can.
Yeah. And even if it's not a monetary support, the amount of people that I've had just reaching out to me, you would not realize how many people lead a text message with. I'm sure you get so many messages, but honestly, I don't get that many messages of just checking in on me and Lilah. Like I get a lot of other stuff, but I don't get like our closest friends don't always message us like, hey, just making sure everything's okay. We have a good support system, but it's not as many messages as you think. So if you think somebody needs a little bit of support or encouragement, just send them the message. If they don't want to respond or if they're too busy, then they won't. But what's it going to hurt? Just send them the message that you're thinking of them because I'm sure they'll appreciate it.
Yeah, it's those little things, and we all know that where it's just like there's no requirement to get back to me or call me or whatever. It's like, hey, just want you to know I'm thinking of you, or I just want you to know that I'm praying for you. Those can be such a beacon of light. Every woman, every girl. The world tells them they don't matter, but we know the truth. Every woman and every girl is a one girl revolution. Through the Every Woman, Every Girl campaign, we're telling powerful stories, lifting voices, and reminding women and girls everywhere of their worth, their purpose, and the power that they hold to change the world. But we can't do it without you. Your donation helps us share more stories, reach more women and girls, and change more lives. Join the movement today. Support the campaign. Donate at onegirlrevolution.com/donate. That's the number onegirlrevolution.com/donate. Because when every woman and every girl rises, the whole world changes. So, Katelynn, what's next for you and your family with Lilah's cancer journey? What can you share with me? I know that you've gone through a lot in 8 months, but what's kind of the next trajectory for you guys?
Wait and see. That's what every doctor says. Basically, Lilah gets her next scan December 17th. We'll get her MRI. We'll see what's going on in that brain of hers. They have to wait 4 weeks from her last radiation just because there's so much swelling and inflammation of the brain due to radiation. But that is going to kind of tell us what the next 3 months will look like. And then every 3 months, Lilah will get a scan, and that will kind of just put us 3 months at a time is how we're living life right now. With her cancer, it's so aggressive. It's very fast growing. So if it does come back, we're just not going to talk about it because if it does come back, it's not good. Like the chance of her relapsing is like 60 to 70% of kids will relapse. And of those kids that relapse, about 10% will survive. So it's one of those things that, like, again, one day she's gonna be fine and one day she might not be. It's just it happens really quickly, it happens suddenly, and yeah, we're just gonna hope that every scan from here on out is clear, and then that we have to do nothing. But we'll just play it 3 months at a time, just living life like that.
Yeah, well, and yeah, one step at a time. And she's such a beacon of light. And I will be sure to put all your social media links so people can continue to follow what you're doing. I'll put your GoFundMe link so people can support. Again, I'll encourage everybody who's listening, like find somebody that you can just, especially when we're coming into the holidays, if you know somebody who's going through cancer, we can all do something, right? Blessing a family with gift cards for gifts or whatever is going on, and just, what you've experienced through GoFundMe, we can all do something in that realm. Katelynn, how do you hope that Lilah's story inspires other women, but specifically mothers, to keep fighting for their kids?
This is a loaded question because, I have a lot of emotion behind it. Try not to get too choked up. I hope that when you see Lilah's story, that you not only feel like someone's fighting with you, but that you can do it, that you have the power, you have that strength inside of you. I know people will tell you you're strong and you won't feel like it, but you are, and you can do it. You can get through, even if you're only getting through moment by moment, that's still getting through. You don't have to be perfect all the time. You don't have to be happy-go-lucky all the time, but you can get through it one moment, day by day, and just feel that power and strength that your kids give you, because they are so strong, they're so resilient, and they will show you what it really truly means to be a warrior, and you will be a warrior right by them.
So I want to ask you about Lilah because we talked about her cancer and we
Yeah.
talked about like she's this little beacon of light. I'm going to
Yeah.
put all the social media links so people can just get to experience the little light that she is. But tell me about Lilah. Tell me about her little personality. What are the things she likes?
Yeah.
Tell me all about her.
She is so spunky. She has such an attitude. I love it though. Like good. She's good. She just loves Bluey. She loves the wiggle. She loves to sing and dance. I think that's where her love from Taylor Swift comes in. She just constantly like performing and dancing and she loves playing with her little people. She loves coffee. She is just like so personable, right? Like anyone she meets, you're her friend. She'll just like grab your hand and be like, "Come play with me." She does it to almost everyone. She's just so inviting and so warm and so loving of everyone. Like she wants to give everyone hugs and she wants everyone to be her friend. And even like the kids that she met through our McDonald house, she's like, they're my friends. And so she's just really accepting of everybody. She just has such a I don't know how to explain it. Like when you're around her, you can't be sad. And that's what was the easiest part of the journey was when I was away from her, it was the hardest. Like not being able to see her, I would like start spiraling. I would start getting really upset. The moment you're around her, it all is away. You forget she has cancer. You forget what she's going through because she just is so like magic. And that's just like the personality that she just puts off into the world. I don't know. She just, there's something special about her. And I think there's something special about every child. Like if you just kids have this wonder in their eyes, they believe in magic and they believe that in princesses and all these things that if you just look at kids, you can learn a lot and learn how to lead your life.
Yeah, we talk a lot on this podcast just about like the little girl that all of us were as women, right? And you think about before difficult things happened or traumas or all the things that we experience, like those are the things that sort of start to chip away at who you were created to be. But we have to be reminded of like, no, I was created for a purpose. I'm as unique as my fingerprint, right? Lilah's little life. She's so little and she still is such a beacon of light and she's changing the world and she is a one girl revolution, you know? And but we need to be reminded of that. And so I think there's also so much that we can all learn from looking at children and saying
Yeah.
like, oh, they have this, yeah, they have this
Yeah.
magic in them that we all have, but
Yeah.
sometimes we have to find it and we have to be reminded of it.
Yeah, that spark. I remember having that too. You just can't let that spark be dimmed. Like, don't let people get to you. You are something special and you are meant to be here. There is space for everybody here. So be who you're meant to be. Like, be yourself. Don't let others change your personality. Like, just take it from Lilah. She does not care. If you try to tell that girl something that she doesn't want to do, she'll just look at you and she'll be like, what? She's like, no. Like if you try to tell her, like, Lilah, you can't do that, or I'll take that toy away, she'll be like, okay, take it. She's like, I'm gonna do what I want. Like she is just so nobody is telling her how she's gonna live her life. She's gonna live it the way she wants. And I love that attitude.
I feel like you guys like need t-shirts or bumper stickers or something. Be like Lilah. Or was it
Yeah.
like what would Jesus do? But it's like what would yeah, some sort
Yeah.
of play on that for Lilah because
Right.
she's such a little light.
She is. She's so spunky and she's so beautiful. I just can't help but smile and be happy around her. It's a really, really like difficult diagnosis to go through. She is handling it so well. So well. I just can't. I'm like, I could never do that, girl. Like you have so much strength in you. I don't know where she's pulling it from, but she is something else.
Well, thank you for sharing her.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing her into this world, first of all.
Yeah.
Thank you for also sharing her with us
Yeah.
because I think that there's so much that we can learn from you, from your family, and just know that we're going to be following and anything that we can do here at One Girl Revolution to support you and support your family and just continue to advocate alongside you
Thank
and
you.
elevate these stories. Katelynn, I wanted to have you on this podcast because you are a one girl revolution. Lilah is a one girl revolution and truly changing the world every single day. But I want to know, like, when you hear the phrase one girl revolution, what does that mean to you or what comes to mind?
Really, what comes to mind is I see a girl standing like in her suit of armor, like with her sword up, just like saying, yeah, like on top of the world, like she's got this, and just like every woman is like that, just all behind her. Like we are all in this together. Like we can do it, just one of us at a time. We're gonna take over and we're gonna make this place great.
Well, you are an example of that, girl. I feel like you have an army of people standing with you, and we want to support you and everything that you're doing. Who is a one girl revolution in your life? Who's a woman or girl that inspires you that you want to give a shout out to?
Oh man, there's so many. There's so many women that have inspired me through my life. Oh, honestly, the one that I would like to give shout out is like my big sister. She has been by my side from the day I was born. She wished for me for her birthday. That's what she wanted, was a little sister. And she's just through everything. Like I always call my sister, and she has been led by example. She has 3 kids and she's an amazing mother. And I've always wanted to be just like her growing up. And I still want to be just like her. She's an amazing person and I love her so much.
I feel like she would say, I don't even know her. And I feel like she would say the same about you because, girlfriend, you are just changing the world and you are such an example to all of us. And I'm just so honored, Katelynn, to know you and to know your family and to be able to share your story with our audience. I know that it's going to inspire so many people. Like I said, I will put all of the links to everything that you guys have going on. I know people can also donate and get a Stand With Lilah bracelet. So I will put all of that information so people can continue to follow what you're doing. And like I said, the free and easy way for all of us to get involved, to elevate the conversation, to push for resources, to push for more funding for childhood cancer in the fight for childhood cancer, against childhood cancer. We can all do something. So I want to encourage everybody to follow what you're doing, to share through all of the social media channels. And like I said, we will stay in touch with you. I wrote down December 17th, so I will be sure to put that on my calendar and
Thank you.
be praying for you guys and thinking of you. But Katelynn, before I let you go, I always end this podcast on one question. So I'd like to ask you, if you could leave women and girls around the world with one message, what would it be?
Be authentically you. Don't change who you are for anybody. You will find strength in who you are. That you're meant to be here. You're meant to be living this life. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Don't let anyone bring you down. You are strong, you are beautiful, and you can do anything.
Katelynn, thank you so much for being on the One Girl Revolution podcast. Thank you again for sharing your own little one girl revolution with us, with Lilah. Thank you for everything that you are, and thank you for everything that you do in this world.
Thank you so much. I love being on here, and thank you for letting me have a space to share my story.
For more from One Girl Revolution, to listen to all of our podcast episodes, watch our Emmy-nominated documentary series, follow us on social media, donate to our nonprofit organization, and more, please visit onegirlrevolution.com. That's the number onegirlrevolution.com.